There is a scientific theory that paranormal events are products of the human mind, and ghosts only exist because we believe in them. A team of researchers set out to prove this theory and create a supernatural entity with their minds.
If we can pull this off, we'll prove that anything supernatural can exist when people believe it.
The experiment was a success.
Where's the flashlight?
What is that? What the hell is that?
Get the thing off!
What happened to her?
We opened the door and it came through.
What does it want from us?
It's like a virus. It knows you're afraid. It spreads from one person to another. It wants to be in our world. It wants us.
I used to love horror films, and then I feel like part of it is because I live alone now. I'm terrified. I don't like watching them because I freak myself out. But you know, I was saying for this movie in particular too, I rewatched Rosemary's Baby, Poltergeist, The Shining is terrifying. I would say I think I didn't grow up on this, but The Strangers I thought was a really terrifying concept as well. Loved Interview with the Vampire. Who didn't? So yeah, I watched a lot of those when I was younger. Now, not so much. In general, doing horror film isn't something that I aspired to do. You know, usually they don't necessarily have that much depth, but I really liked this one because I felt like it was character driven, and Kelly is a very strong, smart female in the film, and you don't get that a lot as well. So once I read the script, I was like, okay, this has actually got something. And you do, I mean, I feel like it sets it up nicely because you actually do care about the people. You know, some films you're like, I don't know if she dies. Like, she's annoying anyways. So I liked that. And then after talking to Todd and hearing him say like, oh yeah, like Poltergeist and referencing these movies, you know, the fact that he wanted to make this an elevated film and a very smart film. He, you know, at first I went in and read for him, and he, I mean, he's actually there in the movie. He really fought for me. And, you know, after we got past the audition process and all that stuff and really started talking about playing the character, yeah, we talked about just who Kelly was, where, you know, he wanted her to be and where I wanted her to be, and if we were kind of on the same field. And he was like, you know, mentioned Poltergeist, mentioned Rosemary's Baby, mentioned a lot of older films that were not so cheap scare tactic slasher horror film. You know, he really wanted to make this a psychological, more along the lines of a thriller than horror.
More suspenseful.
Yeah, and there's a lot of anticipation and tension and kind of have it mess with your head rather than there be a bunch of blood and gore and guts. And I really like that because when I read it, I was like, yeah, this is a very scary thing. That would terrify me. With
Sebastian, there's a great chemistry, you know, great on-screen chemistry between you guys. Was that instant when you met? What was it like working with him?
Well, luckily I knew him through friends, so kind of an acquaintance, which I was saying this is either going to work for us or against us, and we chemistry read, and out of all the guys that I had chemistry reads with, I just, I don't know, there was like an instant chemistry there, and I told Todd and Joel, and I was like, well, you know, they were like, we'll watch back the tapes, and they saw it too. I think he's a phenomenal actor, and you know, he really actually gives and takes, which is great because I feel like a lot of people just say their lines and they don't actually react or listen to what you're saying, and so that was important to me.
Before I run out of time, I have to, of course, ask you about Twilight. Are you excited or sort of, you know, sad that it's kind of all coming to an end and you know, with the final film coming out?
Yeah, it's, I'm excited for everyone to see it, but it is kind of crazy thinking that, you know, this is the last one and we're done. I think, you know, once the premieres happen, it's really, really going to sink in. But I think it's it's a good thing. I mean, I'm really thankful that we got to finish out this franchise and that our fans are still just as passionate and people didn't lose interest. I think it's kind of a rare thing to be able to do something like this. So, you know, and I'm excited about the future and being able to do other projects and for people to see kind of other sides of me. So, it's bittersweet. I mean, luckily, you know, we have to say goodbye to these characters, but we're all friends and we all keep in touch, so we're not losing that part of it.
Is that when it sort of feels like the end when you're doing the final press tour, when you're doing the fight? Is that when it kind of starts to sink in?
Yeah, definitely. We just did Comic-Con, and I was like, wow, this is the last Comic-Con that we're going to do for Twilight. It's so weird. So definitely when the premieres happen, I feel like the premieres are always a little, like, emotional anyways, because it's like it's this crazy high and it's this incredible feeling and just amazing thing to see all these fans and have all this support. So I think that coupled with the fact that we know it's going to end it might hit home a little bit. Yeah, and there's a couple of you know, a couple of surprises that Bill threw in there, and I think that they're going to be really pleasantly surprised. I think he's such a talented director. So. Get out of my house!
Once you believe it's real, you die.
It's not real. It's not real. It's not real.